Hey everyone, going to wrap up the Porn Star Brothers series with the 7th and final novel, And Always, under my adult author name of LJ Diva. It's wrapping up and called And Always because the second novel is Forever. Forever is when Carlos, Pedro and Tomas get married, it's their forevers, they're in love, yada yada yada. Well, now this is the rest of the children, because in Stefan you see how Diana meets Charles and Cabot meets Tony. At the end of DeLuca, when Cabot and Tony get married, you find out that Alina has met Luca Saint, and his twin Antonio, as in Cabot's twin Antonio, has met French-Italian model Maria Van Star. So those two stories actually start off this book, because there are 5 stories in this book. And it's about how the rest of the kids came to meet their forevers in And Always. So this is the story of Alina meeting hot Italian-American singer-musician Luca Saint on the first night of her European tour. He was her support act. She was his passion. Very fiery, happened very quickly. She's madly in love. They get engaged, they get married. And then we move on to Antonio, because it's also in order. And the stories also backtrack through to between Stefan, DeLuca, and Spiros and Jenny. So the stories are interwoven through those after the end. So between roughly DeLuca and Spiros and Jenny. So they're around there in the time frame. Because Antonio meets Maria Van Star on Valentine's Day. And only 3 months later, they're also getting married at Cabot and Tony's wedding in DeLuca. They get married the next day. This is the next day, the story of the next day and how they came to be. And then we move on to Dom touring London as a DJ for the first time and meets Greek-Australian TV reporter Davina Smythe. They have sex that night. Because the guys are well endowed thanks to their fathers, Carlos, Pedro and Tomas. Well, not Tomas, Carlos and Pedro. If you've read Stefan, you'll know that Tomas became something. I won't give it away. And then it moves on through the time frame. Alexis meets Marcus Marcus Wellcroft, MD. I'm making so many mistakes today. Marcus Wellcroft, MD. Dan and Derek are playing matchmaker. So you know who Dan and Derek are if you've read the books. Playing matchmaker. He sweeps her off her feet because she also dated Lorenzo that Alina dated me a year ago. Oh God, I hope I got that name right. I haven't read these books in so long. But then we move on to the future. Now, Spiros and Jenny was in 2018. Backtrack to 2050 when they met, told their story. Dante's story goes to 2033. So there's a time frame jump. And in this story, he meets Micheline Bollmeyer. He's nearly 40. Wants to find love, but you also find out who in the family has passed away. So a tearjerker, that story. And a few people have, through different circumstances. 4 people have, through those circumstances. And the family's not really behaving like a proper unit. But they get through it, and at the end of the story, when it comes to the wedding, they pull through. And they get there as the Stephanopoulos do. So this is the story of the rest of the kids. Alina, Antonio, Dom, Alexis and Dante. How they came to meet their forevers, their partners, have their children. I mean, by the time you get to Dante and Micheline, everyone else has had kids. So you find out about the kids as well. So more kids. And then, you know, it's the rounding off forever and always. The parents, the kids. It's come full circle. The family has come full circle. It starts with Spiros and Jenny and what their boys get up to. Comes down to the grandkids. And jumps to 2033. So if you've invested emotionally in the grandkids from Stefan onwards, this is the rest of their story. And it's the 7th and final novel in the Porn Star Brothers series. There are no more. We've come to an end. It's called And Always, to follow on from Forever, in paperback, hardcover dust jacket, and ebook at all good online bookstores under my adult author name of LJ Diva. And it's the story of the other 5 grandchildren. out now in all online bookstores.